Okay, welcome everyone to another round of Facebook Live question and answer with Jim Penman, the founder of the Gyms Group. How are you, Jim?
Yeah, I'm good.
You've had a busy day today. We can't say too much at the moment, but there's been a camera crew out, and Jim was even getting the old lawnmower out and giving it another push.
Yeah, I did too. I don't mow lawns much. Well, actually, I do my own farm, but they always want to show me mowing the lawns.
Yeah, so it brings back some old memories, but they got you on there. G'day to Jonathan Gleason tuning in. How are you, mate? Okay, so what we do is I'll just go through a few things. Gyms.net's up now. We've got a new website, first time in probably 7 years. It's a really new little fun website, a lot of micro interactions, and you can learn a lot more about Jim on there. You can download his book from there. The audio book's going to be on there in 2 weeks' time as well. And you can also get the new Jim's book on there. And you can also learn a lot more about Jim and his bio history and all that sort of stuff as well. And we also have Jim on Instagram now as well. So give Jim a follow at Jim_Penman. He's also got an official Facebook page. Give that a like. And we also have Jim on Twitter as Jim Penman too.
I'm all over the place.
All over the place now. He's dominating social. Sal John's tuned in. So Sal's a franchisee. Hey, Jim. How you going, Sal?
Yeah, okay, Sal.
G'day, Dominic Bushell. How you going, mate? We've got a Gleason and a Bushell on there. Good Irish names from the southwest. So let's get into it. So I want to start with a bit of a tricky one. Now, this was a comment left on the feed last week from a customer. This is a guy called Con Macris, and I think he tried to use a mowing franchisee. And he goes via Facebook. It was, what are your thoughts on one of your franchisees not showing up for an appointment? And the only reason offered was they forgot. He did make a complaint, and then nothing further was after that done.
Okay. There's a different kinds of complaints. If the complaint was that the job had been done badly, or he'd run off with the money or something like that, that's when we'd actually concretely follow up, which is to make sure the job is done right. If it's simply a matter of poor service, didn't give a quote, didn't turn up, didn't phone back, those kind of things, what we do is we register it as official complaint. Now, if a franchisee gets one complaint a year, maybe they did forget, but it's not a worry because they're a great operator. But if they get too many, up to 6 complaints within 6 months, we will send a warning letter. And that's pretty serious. It's a bit of a shock. Franchisees don't like it. And mostly they'll pick up their game. They'll say, oh, wow, don't want that to happen. But if they continue and within the next 6 months there's another 6 complaints, then we send them a breach notice. And that's really serious. They don't get any work until they go through customer service retraining. And after that, every single complaint is sent to me to look at. If they continue getting complaints, they are terminated, lost their business. So one complaint itself doesn't destroy somebody's business, but as few as 12 complaints actually could cause somebody to be put on breach, and 1 or 2 more that could be terminated. So we take complaints very seriously.
So how many franchisees roughly a year do you reckon are terminated from the system due to complaints?
Hard to know. Maybe a dozen.
A dozen
15.
or so.
It's not a lot. Great majority of our franchisees do very well, and most of them don't have an occasional. It's only a very few that do this. But what happens too, people who get a lot of complaints tend not to be doing very well.
Yeah.
So you often lose them, not so much because we terminate them, but because they just can't make a living because they don't get repeat work. So like this guy didn't turn up who forgot, okay, he's not going to pick this client up as a regular. So he may well, is missing out on future work. And down the track, he'll probably be saying something like, oh, well, it doesn't work for me. I'm not getting enough work. You're not getting enough leads from the office. But the problem is he's not giving good service. And we know from our own findings that a franchisee who gives service in the bottom quarter of our group is 8 times more likely to report poor income than somebody in the top quarter. It's actually 3%, 25% of those guys reporting poor income and 3% of the guys in the top quarter. So often that's what tends to happen, a bit of pressure from us, but also pressure from the fact that they're not getting work.
And we took your feedback on, Con, about the second time you rang up, because it's hard for some, because with the ladies in the call center to try and get a franchisee to drop everything and to go out to do that sort of stuff can be very hard, especially in the mowing division.
But the guy made an appointment, didn't turn up.
Yeah, he did, but they made a complaint, but then he rang back up the call center and wanted the ladies to send another franchisee out straight away.
Oh, and he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem we have. I mean, our service isn't what it should be, what I'd like it to be, but it's pretty good because generally speaking, we do give good service. So last year, more than 180,000 clients we knocked back. We just don't have enough franchisees. We can't grow enough. The the demand for our services is growing a lot faster than our franchisee numbers can grow.
And that's what it comes down to, is if we had enough franchisees, and most likely we would have got someone back out the same day, because everyone's so busy, it can be very hard.
Yeah.
So I'll just run down here. So David Cardillo is tuned in and said, hi, Jim. Hi, David.
Hello.
Ia Penman is tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
Lee is tuned in. Lee is our documents manager.
Oh.
Stuart Rainbow's tuned in again. G'day, Jim and Joel, all tuned in here. Hi, Stuart. Stuart's our one of our mowing franchisors and does a great job. So Jan Midha has tuned in. He's gone, are you offering Jim's mobile catering yet in Melbourne?
Not in Melbourne yet.
It's in Queensland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only just started up in Queensland. I saw the post today went up, and it's got a lot of traction actually, the Jim's mobile catering.
Yeah.
I think it's in Queensland only, isn't it?
Look, the hardest thing always is to find the leaders. I mean, we'd start mobile catering in Melbourne tomorrow if we found the right person to drive it. You need a good local franchisor, and that's it's the same reason as we start in a state with an existing division, or we start a new division. It's nothing to do with the idea. It's all to do with the right person, and we're always looking for leaders.
So I think Sajan, yeah, if you're looking for actually mobile catering to come out, they're probably, because there's no franchisee or franchisor available at the moment. But if you're in that field,
yeah,
that's the opportunity to investigate.
We'd love to hear from
Exactly right. Call us up again. Joshua Elms is tuned in. Hey, Jim and Joel. Hey, Joshua. Shane Charnstrom has gone, these sessions are fantastic, very informative. Appreciate that feedback from one of our franchisors and another franchisee. Haydar Hussain, Mr. Cleaning himself. Hi, gents, watching from Cyprus.
Cyprus, wow. Okay.
Lucky man, Haydar. Hope you're having a good time over there. Mars Olmes
That's where he comes from.
He comes from Cyprus, is it? Hope you're having a great time, Haydar. Hi, thanks for tuning in from over there. Mars Olmes, hey boys, I would like to ask, what is Jim's next dream to accomplish? What is your next dream to accomplish?
At the moment, my biggest dream would be to find a head for my research project. I'm looking for somebody, international figure with experience in epigenetics. I know that doesn't sound very Jim's-like, but that's what I'm interested in.
So head for your next research project.
For my research, we need to head our whole research team. We want to set up a major, really get the research going this year, and I need somebody with real expertise. So we're offering a pretty good salary, professorial salary. Anybody out there who's got a advanced postgraduate qualification in epigenetics, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you know anyone, let us know. Definitely. There you go. So Sajan, we answered the question from mobile catering before and has gone, I tried calling the call center, but they had no idea. So,
well, they just say we don't have anybody, which is the normal response, unfortunately. If there's somebody available, but they're not available right now, we'll say, look, right at the moment we can't help you, but maybe somebody will call you back if we can find somebody. But if there's nobody in the state, well, we just would say, sorry, we can't help you.
Yeah, I think, Sajan, if you're interested in actually doing it as a franchisor or something, try again, or you can email businessdevelopment@jims.net. And those boys will get onto you. So,
well, if you just told the call center you were interested in offering mobile catering, they'll put you through to us.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep running down here. So Quinn D. Giacomo has gone, Arvo Jim, loving the new franchise.
Oh, good.
Great to hear. John Ideem is tuning in again. Hi, guys. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in again, John, as always. Got a question, let us know. Robert Marriott's gone, hi, Jim. Congratulations on having the successful business you have built in Australia, which is nice.
I'll be more happy when we've got every franchisee doing well and every client satisfied. That'll be my major goal.
And Priori Victoriam, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, I'm sure I did, goes, what's the next franchise business? So what is the next division that's in the go, do you reckon? That's not maybe signed yet, but that might be starting up soon.
Well, personal training has just started. That's exciting. That's just started in the last few weeks, isn't it?
It has. We've got uniform, sign and print.
Yeah.
We've got construction.
Yep. We've got the fruit and veg, the delivery one that's just starting up.
The Home Fresh have done a really good, they're going to be exciting, those guys. I know you've got a big passion for gardening, so there's a lot of synergy, and they're talking about getting you doing some cooking stuff with them and running through some tips and gardening and stuff which they can use. So there's a couple on the way.
We're looking for, we've got about a list of 100 potential, including things like gyms, doctors, and gyms, chiropractors, gyms, physios, you name it. We've got a massive list we'd love to do. We just got to find the right people.
I think the mobile stuff with health is a very big one that you definitely want to do, like the gym's optometrist and all that sort of stuff.
We've been aiming for that too.
Definitely. Josh is tuned in again, one of our cleaning franchisors from Tassie. Hi, Josh. Thanks for tuning in. All right, I'll go through another question here. So this is an interesting one from a franchisee. So Shane Stew&Jess, sorry if I mispronounced your name, via Facebook has gone, aside from a successful business being reward enough, how is a high-performing franchisee recognised by the gyms group? Shane, current franchisee.
Well, first of all, star ratings are pretty important. If you've got a rating of 4.6 and above, we consider you a 5-star franchisee, and that's pretty valuable. If I was going to get something done at my place, I'd look for a 4.6 and above. So, and you can put a sticker on your van or your trailer and be recognised, put it on your email. So we recognise stellar performance in that level. The other possibility is that if you're good enough, we would be looking towards our really top franchisees to move up to the next level to become a franchisor. And when we look for somebody to be a leader, a franchisor, and most of our franchisors started as franchisees, we look for somebody who's making very good money. Obviously, there's no point in being a leader if you can't make good money yourself. You can't show anybody how to do it. We look for great customer service, and we look for somebody who enjoys helping others. Now, if we can see those three behaviors, those three characteristics, we would love to recruit you to the next stage. And being a franchisor is, look, we've got franchisees making millions of dollars a year, so it's not the only way to make money. But you know, we recently, one of our franchisors sold their business for $2.8 million.
Really?
And this guy's a multi-millionaire now as a result of his business, and I'm delighted at that. So the opportunities are great. And the other thing too is becoming a franchisor doesn't necessarily mean a lot of money. If you wanted to buy an existing established, say, mowing or cleaning region, you'd be looking at a few $100,000. But a new division opening up could be, you know, $20,000. So it's quite affordable. But we do need those leaders.
So hopefully that answers your question, Shane. Yeah, I think of divisions, people think from the outside is very expensive, but it's not. As you said, it's actually cheaper than most regions.
Yeah. Well, this guy I was telling you about, the one who sold for $2.8 million, he was actually a franchisee with a rival organization. And as far as I know, I think he only paid $20,000 to come with us. That's a business that's made him rich, which is great.
So hopefully that answers your question, Shane, and you can explore it.
Haydar, who we mentioned before, Haydar was he was a cleaner when he came to us. And he just became a Jim's, I think, a franchisee, and now he's running the cleaning division, and he's got like 700 franchisees, and his house is a third of an acre, so it's kind of.
Haydar's got the best quote. He always says, "I went from cleaning to cleaning up." I love it.
Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of, there are amazing opportunities for our best people. We are hungry for good people. There are so many leadership positions. There are far more than we can fulfill.
So hope that answers your question, Shane. Let's hope you explore it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got a few people tuning into us now. So give us a like, a comment, or a question for Jim. Let us know you're here. We try and get to as much as we can. I'll run through down a few more here. I think it's Buden or Bowden McMullen's gone Jim's TV, question mark. Could do it. Jim's TV. Well, Jim's doing a lot of TV, so
yeah, we'll fix up your TV. We tend to, even though we sound like we do everything, we're actually focused on a service business where somebody goes out to somebody's property to do a job. We don't get involved in fixed place retail. We don't get involved in other kinds of services. We go out and do it, and they're all very similar. All our franchise contracts are essentially the same. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just the schedule's a bit different, but the actual contracts are the same because that's the kind of business we specialise in.
So Priora Victorians go, why haven't you done flooring yet? Now flooring is a part of the handyman service, but I know it's not. They can't do it as a service. Flooring.
They can do it, but it doesn't belong to them.
Right.
You know, we'd love to do Jim's flooring.
Okay.
But find me a floorer. Find me somebody who understands the industry, who's a leader, a natural leader. Probably somebody who's got a successful business of people working for them, and they want to come in and say, I want to launch a business that's going to be Australia-wide or even worldwide. We'd love to talk. If anybody out there is like that, we'd love to talk to you.
Well, there you go. We need a floorer. So if you've got any flooring,
we do that. Yes.
put them through to us.
Could be one of our current franchisees who actually steps up and says, I'll do Jim's flooring. Maybe one of our handymen one day.
That's it. Now, James Penman has tuned in.
Okay, James.
Now, James has also asked a question, and I'll let you explain who James is. What is the fastest growing division currently, question mark?
Building inspections is doing pretty well, and so is dog wash. Dog wash has gone up by 50%. Building inspections is just going through the roof. They both just passed 100. I think building inspections up to 120. So they're very good. Great leadership. That's the clue. Absolutely great leadership. And James is my son.
That's exactly right.
He's a lawyer.
But
don't hold that against him. He's still a good bloke.
No, James is a good fellow, and thanks for tuning in, James.
He actually worked here for a while too. And,
he did.
We tried to keep him, but we couldn't hold him. He was too busy.
He's off to doing his own thing.
Yeah, he's done very well.
So he's another Jim Penman. It's another original.
Doesn't call himself Jim though. Only James. James only.
That's correct. Hi, James. So Steve Walkins asked a question. He's a franchisor up from Canberra. Says, hi from Canberra, guys. One of the big issues for us as franchisors is getting finance for prospective franchisees. Is there any plans to assist internally in this regard?
Yeah, we have a system worked out through Jim's Finance that found some investors who can do it. The franchisor puts up a 10%, basically into a warranty fund type of thing, and that's got a few through. But finance is a major problem. We don't have any good way of doing it, unfortunately, right now. I'd like to see. The trouble is, we've got so much work right now compared with, say, 25 years ago when it was much easier to find franchisees and harder to find work. It's so much easier to find work these days that franchisees is what's holding us up. We just can't find enough people, and banks are shutting down loans. It's very hard to get finance if you haven't got a lot of property or something.
That's correct. So Brett Goodlet here goes, I've been a franchisee for 5 years. I pride myself on fantastic conversion rates of about 90% on leads, which is great. Also getting my own clients at a ratio of 60 to 40. I understand that the franchisors help new franchisees with this. However, I've offered my assistance to divisional before. I would love to be able to assist any new franchisee for any division in lead conversion or getting your own clients, even if going to Melbourne for the training or new franchisees, happy to help. So hopefully all the franchisees watching Brett Goodlet, I guess they can DM you or they can put a comment on your comment talking about it. But thanks for offering that, Brett.
Brett, if you're good enough, maybe you'd like to be a leader yourself and train other people to do what you do so well. I mean, it's the kind of people we're looking for.
Definitely, lead conversion's a massive thing.
And the people around who are the stars right now, they're kind of legendary, but most of them started off just as franchisees, and they were just good at what they did, and they saw the opportunity to go up, and now they're running divisions, and many of them become quite wealthy.
There you go. Thanks for that offer, Brett. It's really nice. Jim's Mamie's gone, haha, James Penman, what a name. It's actually Jim. It's Jim's son. So Jim's Mamie, it is Jim's son. And
it's a good name. There's a lot of Penmans around next generation. I've done my job.
So John Ademus gone with the question here. Hey guys, recently we had a regular franchisee meeting in our group here in Adelaide. We always have interesting people to talk to us. The latest we had was about drones. So interesting. Where do you see the drones division going? I'm certainly interested.
Well, look, it's great. It's one of those sunrise industries. We had some stuff done here. The guy went up. They had a drone flying around over the property and taking pictures and beaming it down. You could watch it on your mobile phone. It's great fun, actually. I think there's a lot of potential in those things to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it could become very, very big. And it's also one of the nice things about that is it's a fairly popular kind of division to be part of because it's kind of, technology and exciting and everything else. But they do some amazing stuff.
So Adrian Petkovic here goes, hey Jim, it's Adrian here from A&M Mobile Dog Poo Cleaning Services. We clean and remove dog poo or cat waste from people's properties. Do you have a problem with your guys doing lawns, but there is dog crap everywhere? I'm sure it might have been a problem back in the day, or when you were doing your back in the days.
Yeah, I never mind cleaning up myself. I mean, look, it's a great business. I take my hat off to you. I always said it's some franchisees don't want to do it, and maybe they'd use a service like yours. But frankly, I always thought it was just part of the job. So if I spend 5 minutes taking the dog poo off the lawn, I charge them an extra $10. I'm making $120 an hour. I mean, cleaning up dog poo for $120 an hour, it's not a bad business, is it?
Oh, it's definitely.
And I'm already there, so yeah. I think our guys should do it. But if they don't want to, call you. That sounds great.
There you go, Adrian. Okay, so I'll just keep running through this. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. As I said, give us a like, comment, question to let us know you're here, and we'll try and get as many as we can. So Priori Victorian's gone, I'm a floor layer and would love to have a chat about it. Great. PM the page, DM the page, or email businessdevelopment@jims.net. We would love to talk to you, or call the call center.
Or even jim@jims.net. Just email me.
There you go. Jim@jims.net is his email.
Yeah, we're really interested in that. It's a great division. We could get a lot of work. We know we could.
So Quinn D. Giacomo again has gone, have you done jobs for any other of your franchises besides Jim's Mowing? Now, I don't know what you mean by done jobs. Maybe do you want to elaborate a bit on that, Quinn, and we can get it to you? Do you know what it means? Just elaborate on that one a bit, Quinn, and I'll get back to you. Sam Collins has gone, my husband and I have a termite and pest control franchise, and he's an experienced floorer. He isn't sure a flooring division would work as well as the other divisions you have available. Well, we don't know.
No, we used to have floor sanding and polishing. I don't know if that's what you mean, but we had a lot of work there. The problem wasn't the work; it was the people. So same thing with roofing. We had an incredible demand for Jim's roofing.
It still is. There's heaps.
I know, and it's just we just can't find the right people to lead it. There's people who are roofers who can do the work, but to find somebody who's able to do that, who's also got business sense and leadership skills, is really quite difficult. There's incredible opportunities. People think that, you know, the way to become wealthy these days is to get some fancy internet idea or some technological thing and stuff. And I'm not saying there's no future in that, but you're 100 times more likely to become successful in a basic service industry, just being able to do physical jobs that people need and being able to manage and to grow that business with our help, of course.
He's gone here with a follow-up and said vinyl and having product available for clients to look at, etc. So maybe you have a lot of product, maybe it doesn't work if you carry around product in the back to look at. I don't know. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of work. There's that many unserviced leads to that stuff. That's what I think Jim's saying. So if you do have that business, the work is there. It's a matter of how you do it and how you lead the division.
We've not found, the only divisions that we find a little bit hard to find work for sometimes are the white collar ones. And that's things like computer services and bookkeeping. And most of them do all right, but we've got far more of a problem with unserviced leads when it comes to something physical like fencing or handyman. It's much easier to find the physical work.
So Jim's maiming here, and I understand this question now from Quinn now. He's gone, have you worked any other jobs than mowing? So obviously you're a mowing contractor. Has Jim Penniman ever done, say, antennas work or something like that?
No. I had to try it carpet cleaning once.
Carpet cleaning.
I hated it.
So it was carpet cleaning. Was that before the mowing contracting or was it after?
No, it was during.
During.
Right. I actually was thinking of getting, I think it was after the franchise started. I thought I'd have a go at carpet cleaning. I got a truck mounted machine, but it just didn't suit me. I love mowing lawns. I like gardening. I just did not like cleaning carpets. It was just, but I mean, I wouldn't be a cleaner. I just like being outdoors, but everybody to their taste. So I've tried it. Yeah. I'm not particularly, I'm not even a great gardener, actually. I couldn't name most of the plants in the garden, but I can mow a lawn really well and really neatly, and I can dig over a garden bed, and I can prune, and I can do the basic stuff that you need to be able to do. But I'm not a horticulturalist. I never was. I was just good at looking after customers.
So I hope that answers your question there. So Tristan Collis has gone, hey guys, I was an apprentice for a Jim's Roofing in Melbourne. Thank you guys for the great starts in the industry. Well, if you're qualified, come back. We need you to do the work.
Oh dear, we need roofers.
We need roofers. So I'm glad to hear that. So Chris Arman's gone, hi Jim, I'm in the asbestos and removals division and was wondering what your thoughts were in bringing in a demolition division, as demolition and asbestos removal go hand in hand and would be really advantageous on both parts.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. A lot of our divisions work well together. I mean, mowing and trees, cleaning and carpet cleaning, building inspections and hazardous waste removal. Obviously, demolition fits in there too. So we love divisions that support each other and refer work to each other. So yes, we'd love to do it. We just need somebody, the right person. But to find somebody with the knowledge of the industry and also the leadership business skills, that's what we need more than anything else. And if you know anybody,
or if you have them yourself,
like it's not uncommon for franchisees to start new divisions. Hazardous waste was actually started by Paul Comerford, who started building inspections. So it's an internal division, and that's many of our divisions are like that. You get a franchisee or a franchisor who's already in gyms and understands how it works, and they say, well, why don't I start a new division? And if they've got a good track record, we like that very much. Our preference is always to promote from within if we can, because known quantity. You know, if you've got a star rating of 4.7 and you've been with us for 5 years and we know your character, it's a very easy decision to say, hey, come on, let's start a new division with you.
So there you go. So Chris, hopefully if you've got someone you know or you want to do it yourself, definitely get onto Jim. John Renders tuned in again. Hopefully your health's going well, John. Maybe combine carpet laying and flooring as a franchise. That would go definitely hand in hand. It's a good suggestion.
Yeah, well, we'd love probably different, but working together would be ideal. We'd love carpet laying. I mean, I could sit here and name 100 divisions we'd love to have. It's just, it's strange actually. People think the hard part is thinking up the idea. That's about 1.1% of it. The rest of it is finding the person who can make that idea real. And if you look at the divisions that work best in gyms, like test and tag, for example, building inspections, dog wash, those divisions, cleaning, they're not necessarily always the ones that have got the biggest potential in the beginning. They're the ones that have got the best leadership.
So there you go. So Jim's meme's gone. The Jim's franchisees come together better than the superheroes come together for the Avengers. I don't know. Do you like the Marvel movies at all? The Avengers or nothing, or you don't get into that, or
No,
your kids are? Sarah Cripps has gone. We have a fantastic ethos in WA. We all work together and refer work to wherever possible. It's great to see. It's a nice comment. Thanks for tuning in.
WA people are great, actually. When we had that dreadful event last year, I went over and talked to the franchisees there in the big meeting at the golf course, and it was very warming. They really sort of felt for what had happened and wanted to give support, and many of them volunteered their services to help other franchisees. It was just an incredible feeling of family and connectedness in WA. They've got that very strong sense of unity there, which is good. I like it, actually. I like it when people are driving down the street and they see another gym, another division, and they wave their hand and say, hey, g'day, because we're part of each other, which is why when something happens to one of us, other franchisees feel a lot.
So Haydar's commented on here, over 50% of our cleaning franchisors moved up from being a franchisee first, whilst he's poolside in Cyprus enjoying the sun out of the Melbourne weather. So I'll just go through a couple of questions on here as well from people who left them before. So this was an interesting one from Jonathan Gleeson, a good Irish name. I know he's a dairy farmer back home. Via Facebook, what keeps Jim awake at night? What do you worry about? Is there anything that worries you still, or what do you think about? What keeps you awake?
Mostly what I think about is how we can do better. I get very upset when franchisees fail. I think that's the worst thing, when I see a franchisee failing and I think, okay, what could we have done? Could we have picked better? Do make a wrong decision in the first place? Could we have supported better? Could we have trained better? I just, that's the thing that worries me the most. I can never get used to it. I don't like clients getting upset either, and I read through just about every client complaint every day, so I'm familiar with what goes on. But mainly, it's franchisees failing because it's hurtful to fail. It's financially bad. It's bad on families. It can affect even destroy families if it's bad enough. So it's a big responsibility.
For transparency, we had a comment on one of them said, I wish Jim would let us know how many fail. But what is the average franchisee that's not successful? Like, what's the number?
Look, the only figures I can give are these. In the first 12 months, we lose pretty well exactly 10% of our franchisees. Now, not all of those have failed. Some of them just simply decided to do something else, got a great job offer, had health problems, some other reason. So that's one measure of success, which is an important one, because most services businesses, which aren't franchises, fail in their first year. In fact, usually well before that. The other measure would be income. Now, every year we survey our franchisees, and we survey and we email them and we ring them until at least 90% reply. One of the questions we ask them, apart from what support they're getting, which is the main thing we're after, is how do you feel about your income? Now, we don't ask how much they're making. We say, is your income good? Is it satisfactory? Is it poor? And that's purely subjective. One person would say my income is good when I'm making $1,800 a week. Somebody else might say my income is poor when I'm making $3,500 a week. So it's up to the individual. But on average, 10% of our franchisees say their income is poor. So that's probably some indication that we're not doing as well as we should. Usually about 45% good, 45% satisfactory, 10% poor.
So I hope that answers your question. I've got a few people tuning in now, so let us know you're here for a comment or a question. We'll try and run through a few here. So David McDonald's gone, we in Country Vic are always talking. I speak to surrounding franchisees monthly, sometimes weekly.
Good.
It's great because I work on my own. However, I have always got someone to talk to, which is, I think, is a big part of people. They try and go independent, but that's the beauty of the system, is the networking and the culture you can build.
Yeah, when I was starting thinking of this, which was 30 years ago, one of the questions I often thought was, why would a person who's got enough regular clients, because this was only mowing in those days, want to stay with us? But we've got franchisees who haven't taken a job literally for years, and they love to be part of us. And it's to do with that sense of community. It's knowing each other, having common, being on the same side, being able to share ideas, just being able to say hello to people at the tip. It's community is surprisingly important, actually. And one of the things that took us a while to realize too is that what we offer as franchisors, training is part of it, and obviously work is part of it, but a lot of it's relationship with the franchisor, who's a mentor and a coach. Like, one of the big problems we have right now is depression, mental illness. It seems to be increasingly common, and we're actually training our franchisors in how to cope with it, how to deal with it, and setting up all kinds of systems to give support, because it can be hard. But that sense of community, of belonging, is actually a surprisingly important part of what works well. That's one of the reasons we've found that when franchisees don't have local meetings, they'll tend to fail. Even though we do everything else, we give them work, we talk to them on the phone, if they don't actually meet each other and meet us regularly, and at least about every 6 weeks, then they don't do as well.
Back in the day when you were starting as a contractor, did you find it lonely at the start?
Yes, yeah. I remember going to a evangelical conference one time, and I met this guy there who was in the same business, and we just talked for hours and hours and hours. It was wonderful to talk shop and just to get his ideas about things that he was doing and that I was doing and stuff. It's really wonderful, because otherwise it was just me. I often say that if I could get a time machine and come to one of our training courses and sit through that and then go back 40 years to when I started mowing lawns, my goodness, it'd take me half the time to get back here, because I've learned so much. I just didn't have that experience. And even now, today, every week at least, and often once a day, I'm getting feedback from people with ideas about how to improve. We've got 4,000 people out there, many of whom have great ideas about how to do better, and we share those. We find out what works well, and we share them. What we teach at franchisor training is quite different to what we taught 2 years ago, because some franchisors, people like Sharon, have been so successful. They've shown us better ways to do things.
Now, Martin Gleason has joined here. He's a relation of mine. He's
Yeah, Martin.
Hi, Martin. How are you going? All right, so I'll just go back up here. So I didn't ignore your question, Sam AR. He says, towing franchise, have there been a thought of that just out of interest? Jim's towing's got a good ring to it, I reckon.
Yes, we'd like it, because we've actually got, well, it's one we're looking for, because we've got batteries. So these days, when your car breaks down, mobile mechanic, which we are looking at too, I might say, mostly it's either a battery problem or you want to be towed. So we'd like that division to work together with batteries.
Yeah.
We've also got mobile tires too,
yeah.
so no matter what goes wrong with you, we want to be able to keep you going. I mean, apart from anything else too, we've got a good internal market, with nearly 4,000 franchisees.
Oh, yeah.
So, and James people like to use each other. There's a strong culture in that one. So as soon as we get a new division going, we tell all the franchisees, hey, this is where to go for your batteries or your towing or whatever.
Yeah. So they're good. So yes, Jim's towing definitely. Someone's watching, definitely send something through. Sarah Cripps has gone, you need to come to our next cleaning conference. It's amazing to see so many of different cleaning divisions come together. Now, if it's Victorian based, you definitely go, I would say, but
yeah, I'm not keen on
yeah, not keen on that much
hey,
travel.
Aren't you going to come here? I thought you were going to come here.
Yeah, so the cleaning ones here are definitely, of course, but definitely send something through.
I'm always happy. I'm pretty spoiled.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very, very easy to contact. Any franchisee has a problem. I had a franchisee ring me up this afternoon who was about to be terminated, and I just investigated, had a look at it, and I said, this isn't fair, this isn't right. So I just made a couple of phone calls, all sorted out. It's all removed. This was a great franchisee who actually got a 5.0 star rating, been with us 10 years. And something had happened, and he said, I didn't do it. And I said, look, as far as I'm concerned, you're a 10-year franchisee with a 5.0 star rating. That's good enough for me. So it's completely changed. So that's just something that happened within a couple of hours of him phoning me.
Yeah, that was a test and tag franchisee, wasn't it?
It was a test and tag.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And you saw, that five stars in him for being around for 10 years.
Yeah, he's a brilliant operator. And as far as I'm concerned, anybody who's got a really good star rating has a lot of credibility. If I get a complaint about a franchisee and he's got a fantastic star rating and record, I tell you what, I'm not slow to take it off, because if there's any reasonable, I'll always take it off if I can, because that person's good.
So hopefully that answers your question. So John O'Deem has gone, my darling wife Susan has just asked whether we might look at a Jim's retirement plan. Now, we do have is there a retirement franchise still? Or something like that in the...
Yeah, that's right. When we get people who get to a certain age, what we do is we can cut their fees and everything down by, say, half. So you can... But one of the things we suggest too is if you're in a division which is physically arduous, then what about moving to one that's a bit less? You might move from fencing to, say, pool care or something like that, where there's less physical activity involved. But I don't see why a person shouldn't do... I mean, maybe not something with heavy lifting like fencing, but why you shouldn't be working into your 70s is maybe not 60 hours a week, but maybe 20 hours a week. Because if you're making like $60 an hour, which is what we aim, as a minimum, we aim for our franchisees to make, even 20 hours per week is a pretty good business.
Yeah. So Sal John here's gone, have you ever had a bad experience with a customer? Can you think of something back in the day that stands out in your mind or just a bad customer in general when you sort out complaints? What's a bad experience that you've had is the question.
Oh, you like with a bad customer?
Yeah, bad customer, yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes a couple of them didn't pay me at once. I mean, but very rarely. No, most of my customers were wonderful. I learned a lot from my customers. They taught me mostly how to do things like pruning in the early days. I love my customers. It was, when I had to sell my business or something like that, it was often very hard to let them go. I had one old lady for years. She knew Bob Menzies when he was young and talked to me about him. We used to have a cup of tea with her and stuff and biscuits and they'd sort of become friends.
Yeah. So you had pretty good experiences generally with your customers, as you're saying.
Yeah. Most customers are pretty decent. They really are. Most people are very, very decent. We do have a system whereby we have what we call a red list, a red note, which means when we've had a bad experience with a customer, we will actually make it so they can't book again. But that's fairly rare. We're also looking to getting the programming done to give our customers a rating as well. So if a customer is difficult to deal with or tends to get a lot of quotes and knock them back, we'll give them a poor rating, which means that our best franchisees can actually choose not to take those customers.
Yeah.
They can choose the good ones.
So I'll just run through some questions and comments here on the feed. There's a few tuning in still, so give us a like or give us a comment or a question. We'll try and get to them. Shane Chantram's gone to John Idema. You're too young to retire. So maybe we'll hold off on the retirement franchise just yet.
I do not believe in retirement. In 6 weeks' time, I turn 67. And admittedly, I don't actually mow lawns a lot these days, but I'm still physically active and it's good.
Sean Daly's gone, man, I wish I could say I'm pouring 3K a week. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but some probably do report that. David McDonald's
well, actually, we get complaints, say, from the painting division where, somebody says, look, I'm really desperate for work. I'm having to let one of my workers go. You say, well, if you haven't got enough work, then do it yourself. Right. Which is kind of like their idea of not getting enough work is they can't employ 4 people.
That's true. David McDonald's gone, our antenna conferences are a hoot. Good to hear that, David. Right. Matthew Swartz has gone, hi guys, all done for the day. So he's a franchisee, all done for the day, tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Matthew. We appreciate it. Matthew Kavanagh's response to Dave. Our cleaning franchisees in Country Vic are a tight group and we all speak regularly. That's awesome to hear.
That's good.
That's really good.
Time is getting along.
It is. This is an interesting one. Priori Victoriam's gone, why do franchisees fail if there is internal marketing? That's a good question.
If there is internal marketing.
Yeah, we might point out that it's not internal marketing. There's not much internal marketing done by us. He's saying, why do franchisees fail if there is internal marketing? So maybe address that the regional franchisors and the divisionals are responsible for the marketing. It's not us.
Yeah, well, but the point of it is too, is also marketing isn't enough. Business success depends on building your own goodwill. So we'll start feeding your clients. And if you're a good operator, if you're getting a great response, you're going to pick up repeat work, referrals, all kinds of things. One of the problems we have is that, I'm not speaking about you individually, but people who rely on the office for leads, they're not giving good service. And there's often a complaint that, we want more and more and more leads because they're not getting the repeats and the referrals they should because they've got a 4.2 star rating and they're getting complaints, didn't phone back, didn't turn up, didn't give a quote. They want more and more leads. So you've got to do the work and also means asking for it as well. You get a lead. It's not just good enough to do the job. You should be upselling. If there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. Or giving somebody a business card and saying, and here's a couple of extra in case you know anybody who needs work done. So you wow the customer with great service and you upsell, you look for referrals, maybe follow up a few contacts and so forth. But it's got to be work as well. I mean, some divisions
Yeah.
like fencing, you almost don't need to do that, but most of the time, if you want to make the best living, then you've got to look at doing a little bit of personal marketing as well.
Yeah, I think just relying on leads from us here. We don't teach that. We do teach canvassing work and all that sort of stuff. But also just in general, people are people, right? There's going to be some who, when it gets a bit hard, they just obviously the whole purpose of the franchise is to risk mitigate. I guess give yourself a better chance of success.
Not everybody is suited to being in business. That's sad
Yeah.
to say, but it is. There are certain people should not be in business for themselves. They just can't organize themselves, or their people skills are too poor, or they just haven't got what it takes, and that's sad, but it's true. When I'm training franchisors, the first session that I do, which is a really intense session, is why it's so vital to select good people and what you look for. We push it, and if you make bad decisions, you can cause a lot of damage. So it's very important. I would never let anybody start, when I was a franchisor directly, anybody start until they got them signed off by at least 2 top franchisees. And when those guys told me, this guy has it, he's got what it takes, he's got a good attitude towards customer service, he's got a good work ethic, then I'll take him. But if either of them said no, I would not take him.
It's a good question. Hopefully that answers it for you. So Caleb Templeman has joined in. I'll ask 2 more questions and we'll go. You got to go. Got to go for dinner. So we'll do a bit of a cheeky one here. So Dominic Bushell goes via Facebook last week. He goes, Jim, did you holiday in Thailand due to a recommendation from me? I'll go quite a bit.
Nah. The only reason I went to Thailand is because somebody wanted me to speak at a business conference, and they said they'll fly me there and my family and for a free holiday in Thailand, which I thought was okay. But also, I hate traveling, and so if I went there, because I'm bored on holidays, so I was speaking at the conference and I was doing my emails and all this other stuff during the week, and my family was having a great time on the beach and stuff. So that's why I went to Thailand.
So there you go. Hope that answers your question, Dom. So Amy Purcell was joined. So hi, Amy Purcell and Daniel Gleason, and hopefully you get engaged soon. Jamie Byard asked a question. He goes via Facebook last week. So Jamie Byard is from Jim's Real Estate, and this is a good question. He's gone, there is often a joke that Jim will throw his hand at anything with little experience in that industry. Jim's is into everything as a general comment. How can you launch a business like real estate considering you have never have worked in it before?
And I've never been an electrician. I've never been a plumber. I wouldn't have a clue how to fix your antenna. I certainly wouldn't be a great dog washer. I haven't done most of these things. The big point about what I do is that what I know about is customer service and franchising. Those are my areas, and all the contracts and everything associated with that. That's my expertise. What I do is I find somebody who's got the relevant expertise in an area like real estate or conveyancing or whatever it is, and we combine our skills together. And that's what makes it work. And that's why our divisional structure is so important. We have 50 different divisions, more than 50 now. And each of those divisions has people who are very, very knowledgeable about that work. So we do what we do well, and they do what they do. And that's what makes Jim's work.
Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Now, here's a quick one. I just want to ask you, this is a quick one. We'll end it here because we've gone for pretty long. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Give us a like, comment, or question. We'll do it again next week at 6:30 on a Wednesday. So if you leave your comment or question here, we didn't get to it, I'll put it on a piece of paper here, and I'll ask him again next week. So Joshy Washi, interesting name, via Instagram. So Jim has an Instagram now, Jim_Penman. He's gone, what is it? He goes, at what age did you decide to become a legend pretty much? Now, the reason why I ask this is because there's been a lot of love for you recently before the media. Everyone's saying you're an icon, Australian icon, you're a legend. There's all these pages going up doing that. How do you feel about all this adulation that's come your way recently? Because it's not typical for a normal CEO.
Yeah, as I say, I'm a lot more famous than I'm rich. So I'm very well known because of all these vehicles going around the place. Look, I never thought that way. I've never had that kind of goal. If anything, my greatest goal in life was to pursue my research interests. And if I ever meant to become famous, it was as a scientist, quite frankly, rather than as a businessman. And I tend to see the weaknesses. It's the hurt of seeing somebody fail. I don't feel that satisfied when people fail. You know, if you ask my definition of becoming a real legend and real success, is that not one of my franchisees would ever regret buying a Jim's franchise. Not one client would ever regret contacting us for a job. Now, if that was the case, then I'd be a real legend. And I won't achieve that, but I'm never going to stop trying.
There you go. That's a great answer. Hopefully it answers your question, Joshy Washy off Instagram. We'll let Jim go. I've kept Jim long enough. He's got dinner to run to. We'll be again live 6:30 on Wednesday. Leave your comments and questions here. I'll bank them up again, put them in a bit of paper, and we'll give them to Jim. We try and get to everything on the live feed as much as we possible. So if we didn't get to your comment or to acknowledge you, I apologize. I'll bank it up next week and we'll give it to Jim. And I'll let you go, Jim. Have a good night. Thanks to everyone who tuned in.
Thank you.
See you next week.